Do you have weight to lose or a health issue that you're trying to solve? You know that food is playing a major role, and you've been promising yourself every January for the last 3, 4 years that you're going to do something about it, and yet you're still eating unhealthy? Today is the day that we change that. There are 4 roadblocks to eating healthy that fly under the radar and block us from achieving our health goals. Let's start with not understanding your body. When we want to lose weight, we turn to conventional wisdom. So, eat less, move more. What this idea focuses on is calorie count instead of carb count. Put simply, the mistake that's being made here is that it's the carb count. So the amount of carbohydrate that you eat, so sugars, that determines whether or not you're going to gain weight. That's because when you eat too much carb, your body is focused on using those carbs and then storing those carbs away as fat to get them out of the blood so that they can't harm you. When your body is focused on storing fat and processing carbohydrates, it's not focused on building and repairing your body. Now, you can decrease your calorie count enough so that you will lose weight. However, when we still eat carbohydrates at large amounts, and for our body, large is more than 20 grams-ish around, then you're fighting against yourself because your body is trying to store those extra carbs away as fat. So you're simultaneously storing fat while you're trying to lose fat. So that would be like I'm trying to save for vacation. And I decide that every month I'm going to put away $100. But during that month, I also continue to go out to the movies and I end up spending $30 every month going to the movies. I've just added 30% to the length of time it will take me to save the money I need to go on vacation. For example, instead of saving $1,000 in 10 months, it will take me more than 14 months to save the same $1,000. By not understanding how your body works, you are making the weight loss process more difficult. Your body needs protein and fat to build and repair. Fat is also a great energy source, whereas sugar, which is an energy source that our body can absolutely use, our body knows how to make it, which means that we never actually need to eat sugar to have sugar available to use. The next thing I want to talk about is not understanding the diet itself. When you choose a diet, it's important for you to know how the foods you're going to eat will impact the diet that you say that you're doing. If we look at keto as the example, a ketogenic diet is a diet that allows your body to get into ketosis. Ketosis is a state where my body uses fat for fuel, so the energy that powers it. This is why it's such a good diet for weight loss, because your body learns to take energy out of the fat storage that's on you rather than pushing you to go get more food and go get more food and go get more food, which is what we've all been living. Therefore, in order to do a ketogenic diet, you need to reduce the amount of carbohydrates, sugars that you're eating to allow your body to start using the fat that it's been holding, so that extra energy it's been waiting to use. If you eat too much sugar, so that's more than 20 grams of sugar in a day, your body will not tap into the fat that's on board because it has to use that sugar and it has to put that sugar away to keep you safe. If you eat too much fat, your body will not tap in to the fat storage you have on board because you're giving it the energy that it's looking for and it has no reason to go into storage. I've had many people tell me that they would never be able to do a keto diet because of all the fat they would need to eat. But in fact, in order to do a ketogenic lifestyle, a ketogenic diet, all you really need to do is lower your carb count under 20. You do not need to eat extra fat. It is advised that you eat normal cuts of meat, but what that means is that you're eating a regular cut versus a lean cut, which surprisingly, many people do that anyway. Therefore, adding extra fat, unnecessary, but a confusion that people have, and then therefore they don't do the diet. Another issue that we come across is that we are not following the diet. So basically, if I diet during the week, but then I'm not dieting on the weekends, or I'm not dieting when there's a party, or I'm not dieting on the holidays, or when it's my birthday, or any special occasion that might come up, am I really following the diet? When we're trying to get our health and our weight under control, We need to accept that initially, at the beginning, the diet is inconvenient. It means that I'm going to have to think about my meals. When I'm visiting friends, when I'm visiting family, when I'm trying to eat out, I'm going to have to plan what I'm going to eat and how I'm going to manage myself in these situations. And that seems inconvenient. But honestly, illness is much more inconvenient. So if you decide that you're not counting every food that you eat, you're not doing the diet. And it's not only the meals that count. It's the grape, the French fry, the lick of ice cream that you take off your kid's plate when you're making their plate for them. And often we're so used to taking a bite of this or a taste of that or a sip of this when we're making food for our children, we don't even notice that we're doing this behavior. We find ourselves in the fridge when we get upset because, again, mindlessly we go there because it's what we're used to doing. And worst of all, we make excuses by telling ourselves it doesn't really matter because it was just a small amount of food. A few extra carbs at every meal can quickly add up. That can lead to 5 to 10 grams of carbs over the course of a day. And we really need to remember that carbohydrates, so sugar, are the macronutrient that cause us to gain weight the easiest. A huge issue that I see is that we don't plan for the future. It's extremely frustrating to work really hard to lose weight, to turn around and put it back on, plus extra, because I didn't plan for how was I going to manage my food once the diet was over. We've all done this yo-yo dieting, and it stops us from working on our health because we don't want to do it again. You know, you're just going to lose the weight, go back to eating normally, and put it back on. The problem is that you're forcing yourself to eat foods that you do not like. During the diet, you're not eating what's tasting good to you. You're eating what you've been told that's going to force your body to lose weight. But this is not sustainable. And as soon as the weight comes off, you're so happy to be at goal. More importantly, you're so happy that you no longer have to eat like that. And you run to your favorite fast food restaurant so that you can eat a meal that you actually enjoy. If you want to lose weight and keep it off, you really need to have a better plan than that. And the first step is to learn how to make delicious meals that are healthy. This is going to mean experimenting with spices. This is going to mean taking your favorite meats, cooking them many different ways, taking your favorite vegetables, cooking them many different ways, trying things out and seeing what can I do to make these meals more interesting to me so that I don't hate them. If I hate them, I won't keep eating them far into the future. When I started doing my ketogenic lifestyle and I looked back on my history, what I noticed was that I was eating pasta, rice, and French fries at every meal. So one of those three things was there. And honestly, it didn't take me long to realize that there's many more vegetables than potatoes, first of all, that I could play with and find delicious ways of cooking. There's so many salads that I could make that were delicious that I could put beside my meat. And just with salads and vegetables, I had so many more options than I ever had doing a standard Canadian diet, standard American diet, standard Caribbean diet, because I wasn't only having rice, potatoes, or pasta as a side dish. When you understand how food impacts your health, you will start to understand that fun food and fast food are the reason that you've been struggling with your weight and enduring poor health. If you want good health, do you still see these foods as options in your diet? Planning for the future means prioritizing your health over the taste of food and the judgment of others. You're going to eat healthy because it causes you to feel great, even if that means that when you eat out, you're not eating like everybody else, and that your family and your friends find what you eat boring. Wondering what an optimal diet will look like? Check out the video on the screen right here. In the description, I have some links if you would like to help support the channel and other videos that I think you might find very interesting. Wellness Warriors, I'm also happy that you come back. Everybody who's new, subscribe and ring that bell so that you can get on the road to health. I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.